Lunchbox is brought to you by Even Keel Fish Shack, now with two locations, Lauderdale by the Sea and the new spot on Las Olas.
Hold the mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the frim sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live today from Even Keel Fish Shack, Lauderdale by the Sea. They call that the flagship now. I love the new intro, Jeff Defo DeForest. Now with two locations, and you do those mellifluous tones. It's really
Took 16 takes. I think that was take 15. Lubie decided that we couldn't get it any better.
somehow I doubt that. You are an old pro.
No, it was one.
And I'm still shocked that, when I was looking over the names in the Broward Sports Hall of Fame, and it included not just great athletes, but people from renowned in broadcasting like Tony Segreto and sports media like our friend Dave Hyde, that there was no you. There was no Defo after 40 years. And I'm going to start a petition.
Yeah,
I mean, forget about
I was
me.
supposed to years ago, but I don't have the pull you do, so maybe we can get you on board, Mr. Renown, and get Defo in the Hall of Fame, because if anyone belongs there, it's Mr. Jeff
The
DeForest.
Broward Sports Hall of Fame. If there was a Broward Eating Hall of Fame, I'd be first ballot, I think.
Well, you could have gotten recognition and consideration for the
I don't
Sports
know
Hall of Fame.
if I
You
did
were
enough
legendary.
time. I mean, what is the usual consideration to be Hall of Fame in any sport? You got to play for about 15 years, and I only did sports for 13 locally before I jumped over to
But you took on the giants of the industry. You weren't afraid to ask the tough questions, Mike Mayo.
That's probably
which is
why
what
I'm
made
not.
you, so endeared to the restaurant community as well.
Oh yeah, but I made a lot of enemies back in the sports day. I've got thrown out of more offices, clubhouses, and
But that's the Hall of Fame material. It's the stuff of which legends are made.
yeah, but usually those gets it's underappreciated until it's too late. Then after I'm gone, they'll probably do it posthumously, and then what good is that to me? But anyway, how are you doing, Defo? You couldn't make it down here, and that's I guess.
I mean, it's in crawling distance from my house, so that tells you. But
crawling is what you would be doing, I understand, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's always something. I believe unrelated to the medical situation I was dealing with my toe, which is a very serious thing, but it seems to be going in the right direction. Just happened to be coincidental that this shot that I had a couple of years ago, which is only supposed to last 6 months, was miraculous to lubricate my right knee. Seems to have worn off right around the same time. And so I think I'm walking around a little bone on bone there. And, of course, the earliest that you can get an appointment is 2 weeks from now. So looks like I'm going to have to go to distance with this for a while. And so I got to kind of pick my spots where I'm going to go. I have a doctor's appointment later on today about the toe. So I'm going to limp my way in there. But, it has been very inhibiting, I would have to say.
A confluence of unfortunate events. I guess, not to belabor the medical portion of the show, but the name of your condition in the toe infection. I was talking with a mutual friend, Kate Bradar, the other day.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Who said that
we love her, yes.
Her younger sister, or actually her sister, as a youth, had this same exact condition. What's it called?
Osteomyelitis.
Osteomyelitis.
It's also known as no picnic.
Only a pick line,
Exactly.
but no picnic. Yeah,
well, I got that. I can display it. It's sitting in that sleeve. But
but what Kate was telling me about her sister, it happened a while back when they were young.
Yeah,
and it was before the days where they could, I guess, insert these pick lines or have it set up at home for the the IV administration of the antibiotics. So her sister actually had to spend 6 weeks in a children's hospital while she was getting treated. Now, the good news is she was among, I guess, the 74% that it was effective and it knocked it out. And then she went on with her life with no further trouble. So I guess there's hope for you. Yeah,
I think it's working. I believe the treatments are working. I take a look at this thing pretty much every day because you have to clean it out a little bit. I did have some carving
Nice.
done. I'm going back. You talk about the whole pig. I was getting carved up by my friend and podiatrist, the great Dr. Jerry Perlmutter, about a little over 9 days ago. And I think that might have done some real good. As painful as it was, I think it really assisted and kind of expedited the recovery. So I'm going back there today. I'll see what he says, and it seems to be going in the right direction, at least as
Well,
far as that goes. So that's
we
good.
we eagerly await
10
your
more days of the treatment.
return,
10 more days.
and I wish you could be here because right now the Nick, who's in the kitchen now, Brad is supposedly on the way, is going to be joining us
Oh,
along with
great.
new sous chef here named Gaston, who he wanted us to have on the show. But meanwhile, we've got some nice starters on a day. Well, it's not too chilly now, but earlier it was a little, I guess, brisk overnight. But we've got a new soup on the menu here that Brad cooked up for another charity event last week with Paula De Silva, our friend, and it is a corn and crab bisque. And
Very nice.
it looks beautiful. It's got a
So
little.
you can't eat corn, but you can have the broth, right? Like
I
it's
can
not
have
like
the broth.
nut
I'm going to
allergy,
basically.
right? Like
I'm going through here, and now I'm going to get a
Diverticulitis.
strainer and
well, their broths
out.
are always so the Village Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, the grand tasting when they had over 70 restaurants and bars. Shirley and I got to the point where we couldn't eat anymore, but then we got to the even kill station, so obviously we had to at least try their thing. What was cool about their thing was it was a
called a
fish tea, so it was more broth than these big meals. So we
It
found
was
room for
very
it. It was
light.
our favorite thing. It was the flavors just in the broth alone were fantastic.
You know what these guys do here now with both locations, and Brad, Dave is spending a lot of time at the other one on Las Olas, along with Chris Wilbur, who used to be a Canyon. But they come up with these soups. The fish tea. What they did was they had the raw bits, uncooked bits of snapper, and then they pour over this broth, this fresh fish broth, which they make from fish bones and carcasses and things like that, and then they poured it over so it kind of like instantly cooked.
Yep.
It was kind of like Lipton's cup of soup, only with much finer
Higher.
ingredients and with fish.
I
And
hope this isn't like your comparison
I love how
to
you always
McDonald's
do
at Gilbert's.
I try to make it relatable to people, so like they can imagine like a hot broth being poured over like a raw component, but instead of being cheap little noodles and chicken, dehydrated chicken bits, this is like the finest quality snapper that they used for the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. And again, like Lubie said, it was so delicious. It was
fantastic.
almost too subtle for the people. It didn't, when it came to all these different judges, some of whom's knowledge about food is, what, I'm not going to
Yeah, but that's
denigrate the
just a
people's taste, but
flavor.
it was-
I'm not
it was
worried
great.
about.
It was great.
Look, I don't know what you know me. I'm the layman probably of the three of us. Defo's done a lot more eating and living than I have. I just know flavors and I know what tastes good or what I'm not a fan of. Shirley and I, she's a lot more elegant when it comes to her tastes in some regards. We would look at each other going, holy crap. Like by that point, we'd eaten a lot of food and had a lot of great dishes. And we were like, and then we forced ourselves to eat after. And it was
There he
amazing.
is.
There he is.
Brad is in the hizzle. You're going to come.
Ah, beautiful.
He's going to come back. We were going to, okay. Brad
We're
has
singing their
made
praises.
it. He is
Brad
in
is
the
here.
house.
But anyway,
You have
and
singing
they won
the
the year
praises
before
of the fish
with
tea.
a soup that we
Wait
like.
till you
And
try
is
this,
fantastic.
Lubie,
I
because
have. It's
it is
amazing.
so delicate and also very subtle. When you hear the word bisque, sometimes you think of creamy and heavy. This is also like that little bit thinner stock, but boy, is it packed full of just beautiful seafood flavor, essence of the sea, little bits of crab, some pieces of corn. Actually, there's not too much corn in
No,
here,
corn's
so
not
I
too
could get away with it. Speaking of the medical hour, Defo,
Yeah, we don't want to send you over the whole cross.
diverticulitis is no laughing matter. I don't know
The
if you-
Hotel California over
Our
there
old
too.
boss Jerry
you can
had it.
check in, but you can't check
We
out.
had
Well,
massive issues regularly. with it.
knock wood, and I'm knocking on a wooden table here. I had a pretty bad case flare up like about a decade ago that I was able to knock out with antibiotics. But there are people out there, including a cousin of mine a couple of years ago and a friend of mine, Alan Wax, who is up in Delray Beach. And he's like a former food writer, reporter from Newsday in Long Island. But he's been doing some work with the Best of Delray people. And he also has his own dining blog. He is now laid up in the hospital up in Boca he had a bad case of diverticulitis. It was second one in the past month, and now he has to undergo a little bit of a procedure next week, which is no picnic because anything. And I don't mean to put people off their lunch, although I will. The bag. Anytime you hear the word colostomy bag, it's
not your favorite
it's
thing.
not a fun thing. But
Would
hopefully,
rather have a bag full of cash any day. Than,
And then now we're getting into the stage of life was like, which would you rather have? Which would be worse? Like having to lop off maybe a toe or having to cut out a whole inner
Part of your
section of
intestine.
your
Oh, geez.
intestines and then
Oh,
wearing a
God.
bag for like 6 months until you get the new plumbing
Neither
in order.
sounds fun. So hopefully,
is there a third option
Yeah, I was
you're
gonna
going to put
say,
out there?
it gets his taken care of, and your
Is
cousin's
to
okay
just
as well.
ignore it all and then just
Yeah.
have a couple of these Bloody Marys here.
No, I know people that have had to suffer through diverticulitis, and it's an ongoing condition. It's no pleasure cruise either. I mean, our good friend Jerry Hester from our radio days.
Yep.
Remember, he always had a kind of a sour look on his face, Lubie. That was largely
It
attributable
was
to
painful. Yep.
this diverticulitis. That when it kicked in, you didn't even want to be alive anymore, much less go for a procedure.
What I've learned, Defo, is to listen to my body. And there are times where I could feel like maybe something is coming on. At that point, you got to switch to basically a soft food diet, liquid diet, kind of just take
You
things
could go on
easy.
your keto diet that you do intermittently. That would be great.
Keto diet might not be so good because it's also chewy, rougher foods, and you don't want to have lettuce and a lot of fiber when you're having an attack. You want to have that. Anyway, enough of all this.
You're ignoring the big deal of the day, though, Mike.
What
Mayo.
is the
I'm
big
surprised
deal?
that you missed this one. But
Go ahead, tell me. I'm just
I think
enjoying
we should
this.
all join in a chorus
Oh,
of "Happy
Johnny's
Birthday
birthday.
to you, Happy Birthday to you."
The one and only
To
Jim
our
Carrey's
favorite, the most
birthday.
exuberant personality of the people that we know, a truly great guy, a real gentleman. Although, you might have to scratch through the surface a little bit to get to that aspect of him. But the great Jim Sarney, his birthday today. Yeah,
What do we call him now? Like the executive producer emeritus, or the or he was something emeritus. He's definitely the guy who watches the most TV
Oh, yeah.
in the history of mankind. I think. I think for his birthday we should get him one of those new like Apple VR goggles where you could just watch
Yes.
everything on your
yes.
in your field of vision all day long, even when you're
Honestly.
walking around. I did communicate with Jim. I did convey our birthday wishes to him. I did invite him out here to Even Keel,
Oh,
where
yeah?
he's been known
Nice.
to come
A few
out
times
for
he's come, yeah.
lunch on us.
Yes.
And
I think he's probably having lunch with those nurses from Holy Cross that he was entertaining.
he said
I never
that
seen
he-
a guy who wanted to stay in the hospital
was
more than
so
Jim
sad.
Sarney. He kept asking, "Hey, can you find something else?" It was great. I had already checked out, and he was in for like another 2 weeks.
What
Even
I
though there
love
was nothing wrong with him.
what I love about Jim is whenever he does a review or posts anything on Let's Eat South Florida, he's always sure to include the name of the bartenders and waitresses who have attended to him.
Yes.
And he's a man who he gets around. He does love his feminine pulchritude. How's that for an SAT
There you
word?
go.
And
Good
he,
way of putting it.
I wouldn't.
He's a horny bastard, is what you're trying to say.
Dirty old man, another way of saying it. I didn't even ask what number he's at.
I'm surprised he wasn't in that Asian spa with Bobby Kraft when he came out in the cop salon.
I think
He's a Boston guy.
He's
actually,
savvy
too,
enough
so.
to know where the back door is, and he slipped out pretty easily. No, Jim Sarney, happy birthday. He said he had a prior lunch commitment, but that he is celebrating his birthday all
month, he
month long, kind of like my ex.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
Birthday.
I like
exactly.
that.
So we owe him
Uh,
a cake. I think he's gotten all of his cakes, so we'll have to figure out what cake he likes, and I'll pick it up for him. Let you know when
Yes,
he's gonna
because
be
he
there.
is he is one of the most considerate
Yes.
human beings I've ever met. He's
Really nice.
no matter whose
Strange.
birthday it is, he shows up with a card and usually some sort of baked
Oh
item.
no, he has the biggest heart
and,
of all people. He's also one of the strangest.
but then when you like invite him to a party or a gathering,
He sits in the corner.
he will be in the corner and just not say a peep. And
Watching BC hockey.
watching pickleball. I bet he was there, or is there going to be this?
There
week
was.
a big
Yeah.
pickleball match at the Hard Rock or something.
Yes.
What were
You
those?
had, the Agassi Graf team against Sharapova and McEnroe.
And was there gambling allowed on that on the Hard Rock app?
I don't know. That would be a rough one to gamble on, I would think. But I would imagine there's betting on anything these days, so why not?
And was Sarney there? That's the question. Did
He
he?
should have been. There's no bigger
Probably not.
supporter other than our good friend Carl Foster, who was, involved in
Yeah.
all of these live events, and he has transitioned from tennis into pickleball in terms of the things that he promotes. But other than Carl, I don't know
It
anybody
was
that's
this
a bigger
past
advocate.
Sunday, our friend Lisa is saying this past Sunday. Yeah, I got some PR stuff about it leading up to it. about like attending and watching. And as much as Agassi and Steffi Graf are icons of the tennis world, I still haven't crossed over to watching them in the pickleball world. But good for Sarni. But yeah, happy birthday, one and only Jim Sarni. Sorry you're not with us today, but hopefully you'll be with us on one of our shows. And I am happy to be here at Even Keel. We've been bouncing between the Even Keels. The Las Olas one is cranking back here. We haven't been here since this was all fixed.
Not for a show. I've been up
amazing.
here in person just to kind of check out the scene here, Lauderdale by the Sea. And now
it.
I love looking out across the street
We
and
got
seeing
Taco
Craft, one of our latest sponsors. And again, they're doing well. Keel is doing well. This whole block is back in better than ever after the summer-long construction where they tore everything up. But it is looking really, really good out here, especially a lot of outdoor seating here at Even Keel. And people are enjoying the beautiful weather. Fantastic. It's, it's 76 degrees. It ain't chilly. It's beautiful.
That's amazing.
I guess, what do we want to talk about today? Aside from we're going to be, getting treated to some good seafood, the Even Keel. So, originally I was going to call this the original location of Even Keel, but that would be a fallacy because before they moved here, the whole first incarnation of this concept was a little bit further west on Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. At a location that did not work out, and COVID came along and knocked it out. To be honest, it was too big a space, and it felt a little too impersonal. Sometimes things happen that are for the best, and I know that's the case here. They moved to this corner right here on A1A and Commercial Boulevard, and you can attest to the fact, Defo, that it does seem like the perfect spot for the whole vibe that they're going for, right?
No, it's great. I mean, there are a lot of great places there. You see people on Let's Eat South Florida alluding to many of the restaurants there, including, and I saw this the other day. Somebody was looking for great falafel in the area, and you can't forget the place that was just immediately south. The next storefront over, used to be Keezy's Simply Delicious. They do have another location that's been there for a long, long time, which is a little bit west as you sort of pass Billy Jack's Shack and La Cucina.
Another great place.
Yeah,
I heard you talking about it on the morning show. Billy Jack's
good spot, yeah.
Also a kind of casual spot that is known for burgers. They also have oysters on the half shell, some kind of like creative takes on like things. They make nachos, but instead of with tortilla chips, they do it with tater tots, and then they put like all kinds of southern stuff.
I know Devo's talked about it, and I passed it the other day. It's like right around here.
Good salads, good people that are behind it, and I'm hoping later this year, and we can't announce anything yet because it's still in the idea phase, but we might be having an event in conjunction with Phil and Kate and the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival people might be taking place around these environs. We're gonna have to, we're going to the drawing board and see what we could do. But we're aiming for maybe having a new kind of event to celebrate the beginning of summer and Father's Day in June. So stay tuned for that. But we wanted to get maybe, and it's amazing you were mentioning up and down Commercial.
This corridor is ridiculous.
This corridor in Lauderdale by the Sea.
Well, especially the American Tapas is down the street.
Well, yeah, even when you just go down Commercial from here till just even Dixie Highway, you've got enough places to eat lunch and dinner for a full month without even repeating, ever repeating it.
American Spada's around here. I know there was
a Spada's. I think that's the original.
Anthony's Clam House, very popular in Let's Eat South Florida. You got Zuccarella's also, which has been there forever, and a lot of people love that place. A lot of places.
The Ambry,
a very popular German joint. So I mean,
Blue Steel
we say this all the time. I mean, think about that. You're talking about like a couple of square miles there, and you have at least 20 excellent options that would be considered top-notch restaurants in any other city, and that's just one small corner.
And none of them are
going on here.
None of them are chains. That's the beauty of it. Apart from like what call it a regional chain. Taco Craft has 3 locations now, but it's not like places like
and the owners we know touch tables at every single one. Like we were with Mark this week.
So
Brian mocked there was betting lines, and he said, you're a degenerate when you're betting on a pickleball exhibition. Pickleball exhibition. Yes, that's probably true. And you found your home with us, Brian. That's why you watch both shows.
Over, under on point differential. I mean, all the props, too, that went along with it.
And I bet Sarni probably listed it in the Sarni Scrolls. What is going on with the Sarni Scrolls?
He sent me one. I didn't read it.
Still going strong.
Oh, good, because I know it was affiliated or published with SI, and they're having their share of problems now, but
It
Jim,
still exists.
you know, that thing, that Sarnie Scrolls for Dots and Dashes
I love
columns, it's packed with information about everything and anything. I mean, he's got
Yes.
wars show,
It's
stuff.
a perfect platform for Jim Sarnie.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great.
And
Because if you wanted to talk about junior varsity spearfishing, female variety, probably a talk show on the radio that's on for like 45 minutes or whatever, or a streaming enterprise, not necessarily the perfect platform, but the Sarnie Scrolls is where it fits like a glove. So,
Oh, yeah.
well appreciated. He's found his calling, Jim
look
Sarnie. He
for
really
it,
has.
I guess just do a Google search of Sarnie Scrolls,
Yeah,
and
it's
maybe
there.
it'll pop up because he gave us high praise on the Lunchbox and the Defo morning show. So anybody that scratches my back, I want to
Oh,
scratch.
obviously, well, it's great. I mean,
Sarnie's.
Sarnie's a piece of work.
Oh yeah, but he is the
he's
best when he
home
covered
there.
local sports TV, sports media for the Sun Sentinel. Nobody in the market. I know Barry Jackson carved out a niche doing it, but Sarnie's, the way he did it, I loved it. He was very comprehensive.
Jackson had the couch potato.
Yeah,
That was his column for a long time.
At his
And actually,
mother's
it was
house.
at a
And he's
time where it meant
still
something
living
to
there.
have a mention in it.
I think he's married. With,
Yeah.
Is Barry Jackson married?
I think so.
I can't even envision.
That I would find hard to
I don't
believe.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know him personally.
I know he lived with his mother for a long time. And who am I to talk? My mother.
He's not a bad guy, but he was relentless, in certain
Yeah, he's
things.
just classic.
He had a weird way. This would not be Mayo-esque, but he would call somebody that was in the media, like he would call me, and he would say, Jeff, do you know that Joe Zagacki said that you're nothing more than a clown? Would you like to respond to that? Meanwhile, like Zagacki had said nothing like that. I mean, he was one of those good cop, bad cop guys. And then he would, if you said something, he would call Zagacki and say, hey, you hear what DeForest said about you? And then that would be his article. Which,
Oh wow, he was one of those. He was a
yeah, I mean, he would like to stir the pot unnecessarily. So I learned never to say anything.
Kind of like me
significance
on
to
the
him,
group. Speaking of the group, I don't know if you saw it today, but there was a post about somebody, I guess, works at a restaurant where there was a it's one of those restaurants that imposes a credit card surcharge that some places are doing now. They're passing along the processing fees that the credit companies impose on the businesses to the customers. So a lot of places now are adding 3% or 4% to the check unless you use cash. I guess it was an instance where a customer was protesting this policy at a restaurant that I guess it was $1.96 credit card surcharge.
Yeah.
And what he did was totally a misguided protest is he subtracted the $1.96. He left actually as the tip line. He put in negative $1.96.
Oh God.
So like
Very generous of the
bad
guy.
enough,
Yeah.
It's bad enough to stiff a waitress, but
Yeah.
not to say like, oh
She's
no,
paying you.
I'm actually charging you, the server, the credit card surcharge, and then he deducted that $1.96.
At that point, don't go out to eat.
Yeah,
That
people
would be
do
my
that.
recommendation. Just
Look,
don't go out. Don't go anywhere. Sit in the house in the fetal position and wait for the end to come.
Exactly.
Wait for the clock to
Exactly.
wind down to zero.
That's just nasty. That's just like, I mean, you're right.
Look, the joke. I'm the biggest complainer of things in my personal life. I admit it, and I would not be a fan of the charge. But like, I'm not gonna punish the waitress. Like, why is it the server's waiter, whoever the server's fault?
Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah.
Because as I wrote, people suck. Some people suck.
Some. We've had plenty of great people, but
I don't
some
know.
are-
And some people were badgering the poster. Which restaurant? Where was this? I know it's in Boca. 100%. That was in
100%,
Boca.
yeah, Boca. Yeah.
But
But whatever. I
it
mean,
is just one of those things that.
Here's the other thing too that people don't consider, and this came up actually with the Mustang at Fishtails, where somebody was complaining that they were now charging, and I guess this was sort of recent there, this surcharge on a credit card. But people are using their credit cards; they're charging like $150 meal. They're getting all of the points and combinations that come along with that. So and meanwhile, the restaurant's having to pay the extra, the extra juice for the fact that you used a credit card. So it's a lose-lose for the restaurant, while the the patron who's whining and complaining about this is going out on a free trip to Lake Tahoe because they've accumulated all these points on their credit card.
There are benefits. The credit card companies want us to use the credit cards.
Yeah.
Because obviously they make
That's how
lots
they
of
make their
money
money. Yeah,
between
yeah.
the processing fees and then people who don't pay the full balance,
Yeah.
interest, blah blah blah.
Interest kills you. Yep.
But the point being, if a restaurant, okay, I always told restaurants just build everything you
Put in the
can
price,
into
yes. Put in the
the
price.
menu price, okay? And at some point, people complain about high prices, but if you put everything in there, people hate seeing little ticky-tack charges. It's like flying on Spirit Airlines, right?
Yep.
Who likes doing that? Who likes paying oxygen?
I always love the Don King weigh-in where you put your bag on there. You weighed it at home. It's only 40 pounds, and they say, "Well, look at that, 53." As they have their foot on the scale. Like, what the hell? I thought this guy was a junior lightweight. Exactly.
That little 5-pound dead weight hidden behind the thing. Yeah, no, it's
Don't weigh yourself on those scales if you're on a diet.
Exactly. There's
Oh,
no
no,
way.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
exactly.
always on the public scale because they underweigh things.
Yeah,
They want to
they
make
want you to
everybody
go
feel
eat, yeah.
light and buy a big shopping basket full of stuff. That's another topic today. But getting back to the thing, okay, if they don't build into the menu price and they do list it and have it on the menu that they are imposing this credit card surcharge, well, you know what? Then either accept it or not, and don't come back.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's their
Bring
house,
cash. Yeah, if that's what you
their
want to do.
their house, their rules. Bring cash. There's a ways around it, and if you get confronted with it on a check, you don't take it out on the waitress. She's not making the policies. Go find the owner or the manager
A
and
manager,
say,
like Mayo says.
"Excuse me, I didn't know this. This is ridiculous." And they'll say, "Oh, well, it's clearly printed on the menu here." And then the schnorrers are going to say, "Well, I didn't see it." And then the manager will say, "Okay, I'm going to do this. This one time, I'm taking it off for
Yeah,
you,
they
but
probably
it's
will.
never. This is our policy now, and just be prepared and bring cash, okay? And if the guy says I'm never coming back, then you say good riddance.
Yeah,
We look forward to
exactly.
never seeing you again.
Pat
Because-
Utter does that all the time. It's like, okay,
yeah. So
good for you.
Imagine Reno getting a complaint like that
Oh, yeah. yeah.
over at
Speaking
Heritage.
of
Yes.
Publix, the other post this morning that caught my attention. I spent too much time on the group this morning. 141,000. You see, it's growing by like 2,000 a week now, which is crazy. But a woman was just wondering about that in other states. There's Publixes all over the country now, including in Georgia and throughout the South, that they run these BOGOs, right? Well, some people who are single, and now I have a house all to myself, they don't want to necessarily buy one, get one, because things go bad. Even if it's mayonnaise and it has an expiration date of a year from now, how many people use 2 full
You don't
things
need
of
that
mayonnaise?
much mayonnaise.
So she was asking, like every other state, when they're running a BOGO, you could just buy one and they'll
That half price.
give it to you for half price.
Yeah.
But she said in Florida,
Publix
and
does
this
that.
is true, and I know at my local Publix, it rings up that when you buy one, you get charged full price. And it's only when you put the second one through the scanner that it takes that full amount off for the second one.
Yes.
So, and I've never asked if they would give you half price for
No,
one. Apparently,
they
the
won't.
answer is no. So it caused a whole ruckus because some people were insisting that their local Publix did let them do one for a half price, and then there's all this. It was just a discrepancy. I don't understand it, but where do you weigh in on this, Defo? Do you think they should?
You know what I mean? They're giving you one for free.
Just take
So
it.
you may as well just take it,
Take the free
even
one.
if you end up giving it away. I do. I mean, most people, especially since there are many that are of the opinion, and I think it's a correct one, that the Publix pricing has gone in the direction of Whole Foods. You may even be getting a bargain at Whole Foods by comparison, because
Yep.
Mustang bought what looked to be nothing that filled up the fridge. It looked about the same as before she went to the store, $280. I mean, that's a pretty good whack job for a couple of items. So yeah, you want to take advantage of that. And usually it's on items that you can preserve. So
You can freeze.
I always
most
do,
of the
yeah.
Things, obviously there's things like the English muffins that are BOGO this week, but you could throw the muffins in the freezer for 6 months. But there's something about frozen. I don't know, unless it's the BOGO Briars, and you can get 2 ice creams for the price of one, and the ice creams stay for a long time if you don't open it up. And I've got still my mom's vanilla still sitting in my freezer.
Posterity.
At some point, I'm gonna.
You got the Breyers vanilla still in the freezer?
Yeah, I'm gonna
not a
unopened,
vanilla guy.
untouched. I've got 3 of them, and I'm
Oh,
gonna.
wow.
I think I want to
Thank
give you
you,
one
thank
one day, but then it would melt during the show. So I don't know how I would do that, because it's your favorite, Defo. It's the one with the.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but as a kid
Good
growing up,
choice.
I liked it. There weren't as many choices. You didn't have all these funky ice creams, Ben and Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs. What weren't even around yet. So Breyers was the premium ice cream of my childhood, my youth there in the 50s, and Breyers vanilla was great. I mean, you had the choice of coffee, vanilla. They
was
had
a
the
flavor?
Neapolitan, vanilla chocolate and strawberry, which I didn't really
It
care
was like
for.
TV back in the day. It was channel
Strawberry
2,
ice cream
4,
was good,
7,
yeah.
or 13 or 11, and now
Yeah.
now
Peach, I guess they had peach also
it's an
back then.
explosion. Speaking of the weird new ice creams, the other night. Okay, so you'd appreciate this story, Defo. The other night, got invited to the Panthers game, up to a nice luxury box.
I saw that
suite.
nice piece of schnorring by you. Where did the invite come from?
Well, so this is how it works. Broward County, because they built the arena for Wayne and now the current owners of the Panthers, and where it's a great one of those public-private deals where the private entity gets like 99.9% of all the revenues and profits, and the county gets a free pretzel every now and then. Well, the free pretzel that the county got was because they helped build this arena is they get a box in perpetuity that's fully loaded for every game. And the county, the way Broward County handles it is they give it away to different departments and different people that are connected and doing, either full-time county employees or some, county subcontractors. So I guess, we got use of the box because of, the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is working with Visit Lauderdale. And, who was up and in the box, friends of the festival, Reno, and basically his whole gang, because it was a day off for the Heritage Group. There was about 6 or 7 of his servers and bartenders were up there. Half of them were Flyers fans. It's a little bit disappointing, but Phil and Kate came out. Me and my daughter went out. We were typical fans. Me and my daughter were front-running Floridian fans. The Panthers laid an egg. Their defense was horrendous. A couple of just terrible giveaways that led to the Flyers goal. Flyers were up 2-1, and I just knew at the beginning of the third period that it was Panthers were never going to score another goal. So with 5 minutes left, my daughter goes to me, I'm tired. I was like, all right, let's go. Okay, here's Brian. Anyway, we were so tired that we cut out, but then still made it to this new nitrogen ice cream parlor in Davie on University
So they did the fish
Drive.
and chips anyways.
So we cut out of the parking lot and the game early, but we made it to the ice cream parlor before closing time. And I don't know, have you ever tried these nitrogen ice creams?
Yes, they're freaking great.
I want to say yes to that.
Great.
Very
They're
good.
super rich.
I thought it was a gimmick, but it was pretty
really
good. All right, let's get Brad in
Yeah,
here.
right.
He's got the food. Enough of my
Oh,
nitrogen.
look at that, man. What do you guys have?
So
No, he only got a minute. He's busy.
let me turn the mic on.
He's got to get the mic on. Get the man mic'd up, Lubie. Always a pleasure to see you, man.
Thank you, man.
What a great month! All these different festivals,
I
all
know.
these different.
I know.
new
We got
dishes.
other stuff going on today. We got some stuff going on tomorrow. I'm sure this weekend's going to be busy.
Don't pull the chair.
No, I want to make sure he's in the shop.
Now he's gonna put him on workers' comp. We're gonna get.
Yeah.
He can't throw out a disc now.
No,
All right,
it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter anyway.
That's all good. He's a trooper. All right, so you got all this stuff going on, and and now here we are.
Well, this is my break. So
Okay.
it's good to see you. Good to see you.
Make it a short one.
I gotta get a timeout here.
Lubie did something with the setup, so I'm gonna have to pick
I
up
will
this
grab your
scallop
setup.
crudo
I'll
with
grab
my
your
hand.
This is a snap. This is actually
snapper.
Yeah, so I'll talk about that in a second. So we got the
Fish and
fish and chips with the red stripe beer batter. Make it every single day. Again, it's local fish, whatever our fishermen give us. So these are actually both mahi. They came off the boat yesterday. We've got our new shoestring fries we make in house with tartar sauce, like a malt vinegar aioli. Yeah. We got them both at both the same fries at both locations now. So we got them at Las Olas too. And then our fish sandwich, which we've had on the menu since we opened, blackened fish sandwich with a pickled cabbage salad and lemon aioli on top of that.
Beautiful. I'm going to dive into that in a minute. Because you only have it. Oh yeah, and then
then so it's funny. This is very fish shacky, right? This stuff, and then we can't get away from our fine dining roots where we came from. So every once in a while, we come back to doing something that's fun and a little more elevated, right? So we did a citrus salt cured snapper, which is local.
Wow.
We made a turmeric emulsion and then a chili oil and then a green a chive oil as well on top of that.
Defo, when was the last time you've had a turmeric emulsion?
I think I had one today, early this morning.
Was it involved with an erotic dream or something?
No, it's always fabulous there, and I love the way Brad puts it because you have your fish shacky stuff that you're expecting in a place like this, and then high end considerations always, which people I would imagine are blown away by.
We can't get away
Elevated
from it.
food in a casual setting. That's
That's
how
it.
I always describe
Yeah,
this place.
By the way, this crab corn bisque was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen you since, but the fish tea at the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival was my wife and I's favorite.
I thought it was a great. It would have been
amazing.
It would have been a great thing if it was cold or if it was hot. And I know we didn't defend our championship there, but we were happy with kind of what we.
It was
in my mind, you did. It was a great.
The flavor was amazing.
subtle, beautiful fish.
It's light
flavor.
fish, but super fresh, and then that coconut with a tiny bit of spice, and then
That was good.
That chopped local.
But then tell us about that. And again, when I hear Bisque, I usually think heavy,
With
creamy,
thicker.
but this is lighter,
and
beautiful.
it's gluten free. I use
nice.
I use rice to thicken it, so that's where it
Nice.
stays. It gets that light velvety texture on the tongue, but it's not heavy like it would with a roux.
Nice.
And it's also gluten free. Yeah,
So
Nice.
you got that, Defo, gluten free,
gluten free Bisque, which I would get shot in the
Now
Northeast
there's an
by.
oxymoron, but it's absolutely
I know.
delicious.
I know.
And I even like the way. Okay, I am not supposed to eat too much corn kernels because of I got diverticulitis. But one snuck through, and I love that. It's like you had a smoked flavor. It was like smoked,
We
charred
char the corn. So what we'll do is we'll take the corn cobs, we'll roast it on the grill, get it nice and charred. Then I'll cut the cobs. I'll cut the corn kernels off.
the cob.
Cobs go in the stock. So we make a crab. We make a crab and corn stock. There's no corn in that soup. It was all came from the cob. That's how you got the corn
Oh.
flavor.
Yeah,
Plus, it adds natural starch, which helps thicken.
Yep.
Gives it a little velvetier.
and corn
Flavor.
is gluten free too because
Corn is
gluten only
gluten-free.
comes from wheat.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
We all knew that.
Yeah.
Defo, I can't. You got to get.
You had me at the shoestring fries, man. I want to reach through the damn screen there and grab a fistful.
Like
You know I love it.
wheelbarrow and a nurse, or like maybe a Mustang.
It's-
Will you
It's
down
weird,
here?
it's weird having Defos. It sounds like God in the background. Like
He
he's,
is the voice of
he's
God.
up here somewhere.
He's got all kinds of conditions now. He's got a bum foot. He's got a
Oh,
bum
man.
knee, and
Yeah.
he's laid up for a
Let's do
couple
the
more
show from
weeks.
Defo's bedroom.
Why
Can't we do that?
Buckets
Pretty much
full of-
what we have to do, yeah, while I'm hooked to an IV bag.
Yeah.
So, Lubie, you will take note that I have not touched or used this fork yet.
Mhm.
So, am I allowed to
I
go
want
in?
you to try this first.
I'm
because
going
this
in.
Is,
I'm
so
going
this
in.
is Nick. This is Nick and I came up with. I want to give him a ton of credit for this.
Yeah.
We talked about it. He executed it, and he came out amazing.
Okay, this is with the
Snapper.
snapper, right?
Snapper,
Because he said
yeah.
you're going to transition to a scallop crudo.
We're gonna do it. He's got a couple, and he was worried that it was because it had been curing a little too long. But I said it was going to come out phenomenal. So it's got a really cool texture
It's
to it.
nice. It's both sweet and salty.
Sweet
You
and
got,
salty.
Like, it's like a citrus orangey.
Right,
base.
right. So he did a little sugar with in the curing mix. He did a little citrus with some sugar, and then the salt as well.
And what's the crunch on it? Little garlic?
Little crispy garlic.
crispy garlic.
Yeah.
You say crispy garlic, and I just get all melty in the knees.
Yeah.
And somebody was looking on the group, the Let's Eat South Florida group this morning, for the best garlic dish in Broward. And I will
We,
say,
we put,
For me, I'm
we
like,
put our
why-
crispy garlic on a lot of stuff, to be
you
honest.
do,
Oh, you want
and
me
I'm
to
going to
try
have, look at him. He
The
eats like a
layman.
Visigoth. Oh, he's turning it upside down. He's losing
You're
the
not
crispy
supposed to do
garlic.
that. What are you
He's supposed to
do?
go underneath. Oh, my God, you can't take
Why
this
would you
guy
go
anyway.
underneath?
That's
Here's a
right.
fish and chip for you,
Yeah.
Lube.
Grab a fistful of fries,
I'm
Lou.
not trying to make a fucking mess.
No,
Pardon my
he's
French.
cursing. He's violating group rules. He's just, oh my goodness, Defo.
That's fantastic.
It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's-
He proclaims it fantastic.
It's very early spring.
So you'd be happy to know, Brad, that we've recut the opening. We're mentioning both locations now.
Awesome.
So we're saying now,
Yeah.
Lauderdale by the Sea and Las Olas.
Very
and
cool.
how's it going down
Yeah,
there?
you still
going
bouncing
good.
between. How is that happening?
Yeah, it's exhausting, but
Is
it's great. And Dave and I are starting to work on some new promotional stuff.
Okay.
And trying to get some more live music down there. And we're ready to start jamming it up.
It's building.
It's building.
I'm hearing that things are a little dead on the boulevard.
It's not as busy as what we're new, so
Right.
we're just going to
But
go.
you've been
I'm
going
not talking
down
about
there.
you. I'm talking about
No.
places
It's
that have been there
there's not as
forever
much traffic. There's not as much traffic down there
during the
And
week.
The
especially.
weather, and there's not been a lot of traffic. The weather has been an issue this season so
Okay.
far for a lot of restaurants that have, especially outdoor seating.
Yep.
Right, which is what we mostly have at both of our locations. So. It's still it is what it is. We can control, and that's kind of it. We'll go from there.
I
But
smell spring break right around the corner.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
always going to be a plus.
yeah,
Especially
that's going to
here.
be mostly probably we deal with a lot of spring breakers here. Maybe not so much Las Olas. I don't know.
Do you have any kind of before we get to spring break, Valentine's Day, any kind of things going on for
I'm
Valentine's Day?
going to get with Chef Chris for Las Olas. We're probably going to come up with a really nice couples menu is kind of what we're thinking of
on
doing
Las
for that
Olas?
on Las
Okay.
Olas.
Okay.
And I think here what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with some fun Valentine's Day items that we're going to kind of sell individually if somebody's interested, or if you're here on a date, or if you want to just be like me and be single and jealous of
Yep.
everybody else that's
All good.
happy to go.
And then spring break, there's no special. You don't have any like wet T-shirt contest or beer bong
Not
contest
at the
or
moment, but you just sprung my brain up into a whole other thing. I think I could fit a hose from the kitchen sink.
Oil wrestling is
Yeah,
always good. Oil wrestling.
Defo's
Yeah.
in for that. and yeah, we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, nothing crazy.
But no, the kids do come up here and they spend
Yeah,
time
yeah,
yeah.
by the sea. It gets a lot of
it
traffic.
gets a lot of like carryover. Everybody that's Fort Lauderdale Beach becomes like a disaster. So we're 5 minutes from there. But
and I know last year you guys got a lot. I mean, again, it usually starts mid February to late February, all the way through like the Easter time.
Yeah.
So
After towards the middle of March, it
should be good.
It's over.
We're gonna let you go, but I'm having dinner tonight with our man Phil from the Visit Lauderdale Food Festival. I'm gonna spring some ideas on him that we talked about.
Very cool. Yes,
it's too soon.
It is too soon.
It's early.
It's still in the vault, but I'm very excited about the possibilities.
It's a really cool idea
of a summer kind of seafood
That'd be cool. I mean, just like
festival.
The hub.
Right.
We're gonna see what we can get done.
Yeah.
I have visions in my head. I know
So
you
do
have
I. I've
visions.
been talking about it with my business partner Dave, and I've been springing on all the guys here, and our manager Jason, who's got a lot of contacts.
They think it's a winner.
It's a winner.
Okay,
it's definitely a
We're
winner.
gonna make it happen, Defo.
We got
All right.
a very own Even Keel Lunchbox Visit Lauderdale Food Wine Fest production.
Yeah.
A mid-year thing because they do stuff
Summer celebration of
beginning,
summer.
end of the year. Why
Summer
not in the
means
middle of it?
seafood.
Right.
And
No better ambassador for Fort Lauderdale dining than our good friend Brad.
Oh yeah,
His enthusiasm is infectious, and not to mention infections again. But
and I think it's a great, especially here, it would be a great location. We set a couple tents up,
Yeah,
and we get some other local businesses involved in it. Defo's he's going to be refereeing the mud wrestling or whatever.
I've done that on many occasions back in the day at bootleggers. Yes.
We'll wrestle an alligator and then use the gator for the bites.
That's it. You have to wrestle. You have to literally kill the gator, and then we're going to be serving it up.
Yeah, Peter won't have a problem with that at all.
Meanwhile, I'm no slouch myself.
I like
when
the
it comes
crispy
to the
garlic.
fine
That's a
dining.
nice,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
nice
good.
flavor
Here,
and a nice.
this is how you do it, Lubie. You go underneath.
I don't think I've ever had crudo.
And then you try to kind of ladle a little bit of the juice on top.
Yeah.
And then, I'm going to just do it like that. And I'm going to
There
take
you go.
one more bite. We're going to let Brad go. And we're going to take our first commercial break of the day. But thank you, Brad.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks so much
usual.
for the support. Yeah.
And
Good seeing you, Brad.
we'll see you again next month.
All right.
It'll be something.
Thank you, God. I'll see you later.
and more Mike Mayo's Lunchbox after this from Even Keel Fish Shack, Lauderdale by the Sea.
To me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. It's serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Food with innovative twists, margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar, the place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sampler that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo the Lunchbox sent you.
Email on your phone. So you're getting
Great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting. Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi, fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
On the Lunchbox, Defo, I've got a handful of these shoestring fries, the new thinner fries.
You know what? The old ones were great.
I know.
Those are some of the best fries I've ever had in South
Yes,
Florida.
sir.
That's saying a lot. There's a
These
lot of
new
good
ones-
places putting out French fries, but
Well, hand cut, but shoestring as well.
yeah,
They just go
these are
hand cut
good.
fries.
Shoestring means a little bit crunchier and crisper,
Yeah, thinner, yeah.
which
You like dipping them in a little vinegar? Is that your system, or just straight up?
I do a little ketchup. I'm chowing down on this Mahi sandwich, and it's loaded up with all kinds of like good
There's like coleslaw
and
on it.
tartar sauce, and on a big sesame seeded bun. It's good, and that fish is really fresh. You can't do any better than these guys here. They get it right off the boat. They have a bunch of local fishermen that they contract with, and they get some of their swordfish. You sent me a thing the other day about pumpkin swordfish. You know, they had that on the menu here a couple of times during
Oh yeah,
when the pumpkin swordfish.
I'd never seen that.
Oh, it has this orange color because the swordfish eats a particular krill in the ocean that it's like a red krill that gives them the flesh of the swordfish a red color. It's really cool. It only happens during, I think, the fall, like in October. So it's kind of like the pumpkin spice latte of seafood is the the pumpkin
Nice.
swordfish, and doesn't taste like pumpkin spice latte.
Is
at
it
all.
a different taste,
No, it just a little bit more, I would say,
or tender, or
maybe
something?
luscious and fattier a little bit because that krill is packed with kind of the omega oils. The swordfish also has the omega oil, and I might be just totally pulling that out of my ass right now.
But it sounded good. I mean,
I would
that's why
leave-
you're a food critic.
believe
What
you.
qualifies you to be a critic? You can make shit up.
You can pull stuff out
Absolutely
of your
not.
ass when it comes
The
to food.
ability to bullshit. Wow, we're cursing a lot today.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I didn't mean to do that.
BS with the best of them. I do want to, at some point when the pumpkin swordfish comes back later this year, do a taste test of regular straight up swordfish, maybe from the North Atlantic versus the orange one, and see if there is any difference. A blind taste test, and see if one is discernible from the other. Anyway, we're all backed up in terms of ads. Let's talk about our friends at Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap. Somebody on the group today was asking for, I hate these questions that say best brunch in Fort Lauderdale.
It's a good brunch.
Best is so subjective.
Yep.
Best connotes that you've eaten at every single place that offers brunch in a given whatever you're asking for. I don't have time to eat brunch in every restaurant, nor do I have the capacity. So I'm just going to say, if you want one of my favorite brunches,
Yes.
go to Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, because Lubie can testify to the fact that things like that spiced shrimp eggs Benedict
Yeah,
was
fantastic.
fantastic. The hollandaise was on point.
The cheese grits are
Cheese
great.
grits.
They do it with a chicken and
Like
sort of
a
a skillet
southern
kind of thing.
battered skillet chicken, boneless chicken on top of the cheesy
My
grits.
buddy, my friends love the chicken and waffles, and the fried chicken with the chicken and waffles is fantastic.
It is all good, and it's not just for brunch. But it's not just for brunch.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
if you're in the market for brunch, especially with those bottomless drinks,
Yep.
Batch is the place for you. It's at 525 North Federal Highway in downtown Fort Lauderdale, and they're also open for lunch and dinner. And I suggest go in there some dinner sometime.
Yep.
Because man, some of those things like that. What was it? The bourbon glazed short rib with the sweet potato mash.
That
You
was
enjoyed
great.
that.
Yeah, wow.
The pork
Tremendous.
ribeye was
Pork
ridiculous.
ribeye, also with that braised red cabbage. I mean, it's kind of like the best of both worlds, where you get a little bit of that German
Yep.
touch along with the Southern touch, and you just want to go in there because the bar, they make those great craft cocktails using the house infused spirits. It is, again, open 7 days. They have happy hour. They have music Wednesday through Friday.
Yep.
And Kevin and company are good people. They'll take great care of you. Batch, Fort Lauderdale. There's other locations too, but we want you to check that one out down there.
That's a great area
because it's conveniently located and there's free parking too. So Batch,
We've seen this true of various companies. Certainly in sports, people always say, "Well, geez, the organization is a reflection of the people at the very top." Often, I mean, you're looking at the players, but if the owner is a Jeffrey Loria, probably your season is going to go in the tank very early on, and you'll be mathematically eliminated by the second week of the season. This Kevin, I mean, he is just a gem. We're fortunate to associate with a lot of great people. I mean, you can see Brad's enthusiasm for the business and everything he does is reflective, of the type of food people are being served there. And I can't be any more impressed than I have been with Kevin and the way that not only does he greet people and all of his staff is so well informed, but it's always an indication that the experience is going to be good when the person that's running the organization has that kind of a feel for being in the hospitality business, and that's true of Batch, and the food is a reflection of that too.
Big fans of Batch, and again, Southern cuisine, but also on the lighter side if you want the salads and things.
Well, definitely
you get healthy options.
Good
there.
Southern food, but it also has an elevated flair, and also as Defo can attest, he's now the 2 appearances we've had there. He's gone a salad both times, and I think he's devoured it because it was such a nice, well done salad. They sort of cover all the bases, and again, in that area to find free parking is really freaking great. Yeah. So,
and
I wanted to toss this in too, just an aside, but people are always on Let's Eat South Florida with 141,000 people. Seems like 140,999 of them are searching for a great lunch special somewhere.
Yes.
And my wife and I have always been a big fan of a place, and we mentioned it a couple of times, called Brendan's. It used to be Yahtzee's.
Love Brendan's.
They redid it. It's changed hands, which often is a bad sign. I don't know. How often is a restaurant better after it changes hands than it was before? I would say
it happens on occasion. But it's
you would hope they would maintain the integrity and the things that help them build their reputation. But they have dynamite lunch specials. I mean, if you're looking for like a very, very reasonably priced lunch special, food quality is great, and for the price, just absolutely dynamite. So that's another place to check out for people. There are many places along that sector of Federal Highway that also feature lunch specials and are very popular. But Brendan's should not be overlooked in that category.
Yeah, they do a good job.
So I'm excited. All right, we've got a lot of business to take care of. But one more topic I wanted to hit was at the beginning of the year, I posted like a topic and a list of places that you've never been that you can't believe you've never been to yet.
Yeah.
And on my list was Cook and the Cork in Coral Springs in Lubie's.
My wife used to go regularly, and we went a couple years ago and we loved it.
And between the beginning of the year and now, Cook and the Cork got named as having the best fried chicken in South Florida in a contest that the Sun Sentinel was conducting. I don't exactly know their methodology apart from a bunch of people nominated places, and then I guess there was a final vote. I don't know, but the Korean fried chicken platter at Cook and the Cork won, and I was a little surprised. I mean, it looks great. It looks very crunchy. The chicken itself, he's using a thigh and another piece, but what struck me is it's boneless chicken, and when I hear boneless chicken, I think it's tenders and not necessarily fried chicken. I think fried chicken should be on the bone because usually the bone is where a lot
Who wants a chicken without a spine? It's already a chicken, for God's sake.
How did it walk? And that's an odd couple line.
But spineless chicken, that would be one of the bigger insults.
And I kind of I didn't need to take a shot, but sometimes I just, when they announce,
you can't help yourself sometimes.
Yeah,
you just can't. It's in your nature.
It can be great. Like my wife said, it's really good.
Also on the list,
but it's not fried chicken.
Also on the list was Fran's Chicken Haven in Boca, which is a hole-in-the-wall spot that I love. Joe's Stone Crab made the list. I think Publix made the list. My favorite spot, which and Kesey's did not make the list. That's your choice. Lock Bar up in Boca in Meisner is kind of a seafood place, but it's run by guys from Maryland that do this Maryland fried chicken in also a Henny Penny pressure fryer, and it is the best fried chicken that I've had down here. But it didn't make the list. Let me say it, my favorite fried chicken. But tonight I'm going to go in there because Dina, who runs Cook and the Cork with her husband Keith, says, "Well, I wish you would try ours first before you
so
make any
mentioned
pronouncement."
something. And
Well, I
then they
mentioned,
were-
like I said, of the ones that I've tried, I would go like Lockbar didn't make the list, so of
Yeah.
the ones I've tried of the finalists, I would go with
Maryland.
Fran's.
Yeah,
And Dina was like, "I really wish you would try ours before you make any pronouncements." And then I think at one point, I
Another
think
freebie you conjured up.
Why didn't you
Nice.
pull that out?
they announced the winners, and I said, "I'm a little surprised that it's a boneless version that won." But maybe my mind will
Supposedly
be.
it's really good. I don't know if I consider fried chicken, but my wife attests to it being fantastic.
Yeah,
It shows you how looks can be deceiving, though. That innocent-looking 17-year-old, 150-pound Mike Mayo looked like he was a member of the Mouseketeers. I thought I was looking at Cubby. Evolved into this shameless schnorrer who uses his
old
influence to
fat
have
who's
free meals all
grousing.
over the place and
Right.
get red carpet treatment and white glove treatment at the same
grumpy
time.
old man grousing about boneless chicken being disqualifying. But I don't know. I am looking forward to trying not the whole menu, but other things in the menu. I'm going with Phil, our guy from
Yeah,
Visit
you'll have a good
Lauderdale.
time. They do some tapas.
He's
and
been there.
some other nice dishes. They
Do I
a really
want to
good
sit
job.
outside or inside?
We went. I don't know what time of year, but I don't remember being outside weather. But this weather, I would definitely sit outside. The weather's
Okay,
been
because they have
amazing.
a terrace, and we'll
It's
see.
nice. You'll
But-
drive past me.
I'm looking forward to getting in there tonight, and and then I'll give a full review of the chicken and more.
I'm actually curious.
But again, it is one of the, I guess, higher regarded places in Coral Springs.
No, it's really
in
good.
Northwest Broward. So I have tasted their food at numerous events around town. So that's going to be fun. All right, let's do our final
Break.
commercial block. But before that,
Yes.
Defo, big game on Sunday. I don't know about you, but I like doing it at home, a little bit more sedate. And that means picking up some great food, maybe some stone crabs,
Oh, great
maybe
idea.
a couple of pieces of chicken or a nice steak. Talking about Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market in Hollywood, 4191 North State Road 7. It's been there for decades. It's been my place for decades for major occasions, holidays, Christmas, and, of course, Valentine's Day coming up next week. They're going to do these romance packages for two that include stone crabs, shrimp, a key lime pie, and some red velvet cupcakes. That's next Wednesday. This Sunday, the big game, you're going to want to go in there. Go onto the web at DelawareChicken.com for the weekly specials, the daily offerings, all the things that they're going to have for this weekend, the big game, and Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's the place to go.
Like
We're
back
going
to
to be
back.
in there before you know it. On the 22nd, we'll be back for our monthly appearance. Who knows what we will be able to extricate from the bountiful shelves of
You know, it's great
Delaware
for spring
chicken.
break coming up.
spring
Stone
break.
crabs.
No, I'm not going there again. We might go back into the
Plus, now we have to accommodate Segredo, who's become a regular over there, too.
Yeah.
The Sausage King.
we might get
Yeah.
a little steamed fish, some of those like Old Bay crabs, some of the other different varieties.
I know
of
every time they
seafood.
want to throw the roasted chicken in again. That was freaking great. I'm not gonna lie.
we do like
That should earn consideration
Up
for
there
the
with the
best
best
fried
fried
chicken,
chicken,
although
yeah.
it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
essentially
It's probably
fried, but
roasted chicken.
yeah.
So I don't know if that
Really
also is disqualifying, but
similar.
it's very similar. It was good and not as
It was lighter.
heavy
It
and
felt
greasy.
lighter. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, let's take our final break, and we'll come back to wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox after these words.
For Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent. Food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have daily happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back at Even Keel Fish Shack, the original, the flagship, we'll call it,
I like
Lauderdale
the
by the
flagship,
Sea.
the flagship.
Flagship location, Commercial Boulevard and A1A. Don't forget, now downtown,
Las
Fort
Olas,
Lauderdale,
yeah, it's
Las
right
Olas,
around.
1111 East Las Olas Boulevard. It's nice to see some Let's Eat South Florida people out here today for lunch. See our friend Susan, she's here, long time Let's Eat member, and they're getting it done out here. One more thing I wanted to mention. Well, before I have a little bit more business, we're going to let Defo cut loose soon. But, we've heard of Taco Tuesday, and we had a great time at Taco Craft downtown Victoria Park on Tuesday. Have you ever heard, Defo, of Weenie Wednesday?
Weenie Wednesday. You know what? Back when I was more active sexually, I used to propose that all the time, that we go ahead and respect Weenie Wednesday. But no, what is that all about? Is that about?
I hadn't heard, but yesterday it was bizarre because we were at Grandpa's. We missed you. Mark Freed was asking.
Yeah, I wish I had been able to make it.
We had a great show. Even without you, we had Sean Wooden drop by for a guest appearance. Great Dolphins.
Delightful young man, also.
Yes.
Safety, yeah.
And then both Marks, Goldberg and Freed, were there. And along with Tony.
Is that a first? I believe that might be a lunch
Yeah,
first.
once in the beginning and never
We've had
since then.
Goldberg on individually. We've obviously had Freed on, but I think this was a first time that both of them
both at the same time.
on the same show at the same time. And that went well. But for lunch there, because I hadn't had one ever,
I ordered a hot dog, and it was like one of those thick,
Oh, yeah?
first the Hebrew national hot dog, because
I
I
bet they
just
do
said
a
to
good job
myself,
at that. Yeah.
it was excellent. A nice soft bun, nice grilled hot dog, one of those kind of thicker
Maybe the
knockwurst
heated
ones,
sauerkraut, right?
and some nice, a little bit warmed up sauerkraut, good deli mustard. So and it had been since probably last summer sometime since I had a hot dog. So over 6 months.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed that for lunch. Then last night I met my friend Scott over at Three Sons Brewing near me in Dania Beach. Had a great couple of IPAs before a poker tournament, a little pre-gaming. And I look at the menu and they said, it's now Weenie Wednesday here. They're running these hot dog specials on Wednesdays. They're calling it Weenie Wednesday.
Okay.
So I had a second hot dog of the day. And again, one of these big mamas. It's a Chicago dog, fully loaded. They offer different options. They have a chili dog. They have a Chicago dog. They have like a straight up classic dog with just mustard and relish. I went for the Chicago dog for $6. And next thing you know, I'm eating 2 hot dogs. So it's a double dog Weenie Wednesday. And it did get me a little excited in the
pants.
In the pants.
Solid 3-inch hot dog, always a reminder of.
That's it. That would be the Coney at Skyline.
Exactly.
No, the other thing they're doing at Three Sons, and again, it's like my local watering hole now. They only have beer and wine, but it's excellent house-made craft beer that's internationally famous. He's won all kinds of medals. But on Mondays they're doing Motor City Madness. They're making the Detroit style pizzas, those square
nice.
pizzas. So like Monday night is now the Detroit pizza night. Wednesday is now the hot dog night. Every night they've got good wings and stuff there. But yeah, I put in the good word for them because Corey, who's the brewmaster, his dad Joe, even though they're Bills fans, I don't hold it against them, but they do a really nice job. The kitchen is back in shape there. They were having
That's what we went with
challenges.
Nikki, right?
Yeah,
That place was great.
we were there for International Beer Day.
Yeah, that place was
I
great.
believe it was back
A couple of years ago.
23 or 22. I've lost all track of
Yeah, it was
time.
a couple years
Defo.
ago. I think.
I've lost track of time here too because we're in overtime. But I got to give the good word about Tropical Acres.
We're talking about Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. I think there's still a couple of reservations available, and they do allow some walk-ins. So if you're
Nice.
one of those, let's say, procrastinators,
Yeah.
Defo, you like that, or do you even?
Oh, completely, man. You know, all degenerates are very poor at affairs of the heart.
Well, you can just walk up to 2500 Griffin Road, knock on the door, open the door, see Jack Studiali or his sons Joe and Jackson, and say, "Can you take poor pity on a
Exactly.
degenerate that didn't make any plans?" And they will possibly let you in if you go early enough. But better yet, give a call right now. You can probably still get in there for a reservation. 954-989-2500. That's 954-989-2500. For your Tropical Acres reservation. They're open every day but Sunday if you can't get in for Valentine's Day. A couple of more notes. The Visit Lauderdale people, they are going to be running an event at the end of March in conjunction with International Whiskey Day. We love Kate and Phil. They're always planning new events, and this one is going to be held at the River House there on the riverfront in Las Olas, and it's the again, March 27th, 6:30 p.m. It's going to be a barbecue whiskey dinner, and they're going to have some of the top pit masters from around Fort Lauderdale, Broward area, along with the great mixologist Miles Robinson, who won one of the bar fight competitions at the festival. All three of them, they're going to be whipping up some really good whiskey drinks, along with some great barbecue. That's March 27th. Go online to the vlfoodwine.com website to get your tickets now. I believe they're $99 a person. It's a good deal. And also coming up on President's Day, Monday, March 19th, the Red Meat Lovers Club, in conjunction with Anthony's Runway 84, the family feast night. They're buying out the whole restaurant. It's for charity, and it's going to be unbelievable. Have you ever heard the words Parm Station, Jeff Defo DeForest?
It's a concept I can embrace.
30. They said 30 different kinds of parm.
Nice.
I don't even know how
I don't
that's
even know
possible.
what that means. They're going to be out.
They're
Well, you got
sauce.
eggplant and chicken. I don't know what else would you throw in there.
Veal, the
Different
shrimp.
sauces.
Cornish game hen. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Shrimp parmesan,
I
veal.
think
Sure.
by the end of the night, I might be covered in cheese.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how you eat all of that, but I definitely would love to try.
Go online to meatsbowl.com. That's MEATS bowl.com to get your tickets for that big event. Again, Monday, February 19th, Evan Darnell, the Secretary of State and his Red Meat Lovers Club, in conjunction with Mark Falsetto, Anthony Bruno, and company. It is going to be an epic night, benefiting, I think it's called the Peanut Butter and Jelly
Yes,
Foundation.
Peanut Jelly Foundation. Yes.
And a good folks, good cause, good people, and good parms.
We care
And there's going to be
youth, I guess, which is a really
and
good
there's going to
cause.
be a pasta station. There's going to be all kinds of great
Monte Cristo
yeah,
food truck on the outside.
no,
or
a
something,
cigar truck, a cigar rolling truck on the outside.
It sounds amazing.
It's going to be quite the night. So again, check that out online. That's going to do it for today. Thanks, Defo.
Always a pleasure, man. Sorry I couldn't join you guys down there, but maybe tomorrow.
And
Always hopeful. Yeah.
Oh, we're going to maybe see you at Gulfstream. That would
I
be
hope so,
great.
yeah.
If not, we'll see you in the
next week.
The
You know, all of this comes to an end soon, so that's good. And you know, let's hope it's not the end that
not the end.
yeah, like that Jim Morrison was singing about. But
as Vince Scully says.
But yeah, we got about 10
all
more
day.
days of this, and then the agony ends. I hope.
Yeah.
So
all right.
We'll see you then.
Heal up quick. Until then, everybody enjoy every fish sandwich